already know this video is gonna be long, so hopefully I just don't talk my mouth off, because wow, nobody wants a chatty Christine. Can we just take a moment to talk about my own character arc? Because look, I started booktube not even knowing how to give a single synopsis, and here we are ending the year with 10 synopsises that hopefully make sense to you all. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss any of my uploads. I'm super excited for today's video because as y'all know me, I love my series. I'm giving you the top 10 book series that I want to start in 2021. This list includes authors that I know and love, and then also some new authors that I have never read from before. So let's get right into it. Without further ado, I'm Christine and this is Editorial Edge. But alright, book one on my list is actually one of my most exciting book series that I want to start in 2021, and that is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I shared in my last video, which was the most anticipated book releases of 2021. If you haven't watched that video, I'll link it up here and in the description box for you. But December is the month where I just binged all of Sarah J. Maas's books except for the Throne of Glass series. In Throne of Glass, a girl named Selena, who is now serving time for crimes that she committed against the kingdom, is now recruited by the Crown Prince to redeem herself and earn her freedom back if she chooses to help him in this competition that's coming up. Crown Prince in this story is trying to find a new assassin, and so when she enters this competition, she's fighting against other assassins, warriors, trained people who can kill with their bare hands. And if she beats them in elimination, she gets to earn her freedom back. However, in this competition, slowly the other contestants are dying, and so she's now tasked with also figuring out why they're dying before she's next. And of course, as all of this is going on, the prince is now suddenly interested in her, and she may be returning those same feelings. Y'all know I love royal romances. I just have such a big thing for them. Next on my book is actually one that I'm so excited to read, and I just can't believe I waited this long to start it, to be honest, because Leigh Bardugo is one of my favorite authors, and of course the series that I want to start is Shadow and Bone, because Shadow and Bone Netflix series is also coming out next year, so I have to read this series before I watch the TV show, or else all else is doomed. I'll know that I love Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, so I just hope that this is also up my alley. Shadow of Bone, the nation of Ravka is under threat as a looming darkness is surging around their borders and trying to come into their main grounds and suffocate them. And unfortunately for them, this darkness that is impending on them is filled with monsters that eat human flesh. You know, who wants that? So here enters Alina, who is now tasked with saving the entire nation because she has some hidden powers that are now revealed, and now she's whisked away to train as a Grisha, who is an army led by the Darkling. Any mention of any Darkling, I'm definitely there. And that brings me to book 3 of the book series that I want to start in 2020, which is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. In this time frame, Ravka is now led by a young king named Nikolai, who is faced with the challenge of recovering the nation. He has to find new alliances, new tools, and basically help in order to recover the nation that he loves. However, during this time when he's trying to figure out all the tools and get everything together, there's also an inner power that's growing within him that isn't necessarily good. So as he's trying to do the good thing and save his people, there's also dark magic that's winding up in him that thinks the opposite. I love character arcs like this, and because I'm such a character-driven reader, I'm really excited to get into this series because I really want to see this good, bad internal debate that goes on, but also see how that's translated outside as Nikolai tries to save his nation. But that isn't the only nation-saving book that I have on my list, because the next book is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne Brown. In this book, war is already occurring, and Karina, who is the crown princess, has now kidnapped a girl named Nadia, who happens to be the brother of a young Malik, who is trying to save his family from the effects of the war. In this time frame, Karina's mother has just passed away, and Karina has intended goals to resurrect her mother from the dead. And the only way to do that is, of course, through dark magic. More specifically, she needs the heart of a king. So as this war is going on, there's a competition that is happening, and the winner of this competition amongst warriors and trained assassins and killers gets to be the king. Because in Karina's mind, the winner of this competition is the person that she intends to kill in order to get the heart of a king. So this is where Karina and Malik's lives come intertwined, because Malik is entering this competition so he can save his sister, and when their paths really cross, they start to have some feelings towards each other, but also they have a goal that they intend to execute. But this is also not the only book that deals with family. Y'all see how I'm trying to weave through this list? It all ties together, y'all. Next series that I want to start in 2021 is The Three Dark Crowns. In The Three Dark Crowns, it follows three sisters who are actually triplets who have now been tasked with fighting to the death for the queen's crown. And yes, I said fight to the death because only one sister can be alive in order for this crown to actually be the queen's. Because period, we ain't sharing queen's crowns around here. The next book has become one of Book Twitter's favorite releases of this year, and that is The Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, so y'all already kind of know how it's gonna go down. But this book takes place in 1926 in Shanghai, where two feuding gangs are now tasked with finding stability within them, but also fighting off one another. Juliet, who is the heir of the Scarlet Gang, is now tasked with this responsibility of saving her people. But that's made it even more difficult when the feuding gang called the White Flowers is led by Roma, her first love and her first betrayal. I've already heard so many fantastic reviews about this book, so needless to say, I have very high expectations, but I'm very sure that I'm gonna love this story and what it holds. The next book that I have on my list is one that I've been eyeing forever, but I just haven't picked it up, haven't bought it, and I'm just so excited to hold myself accountable to read this in 2021. And that is Nevernight by J. Kristoff. In Nevernight, the story follows a girl named Mia who has the powers to speak with the dead. In this book, her dad actually just got executed because he was found out as a traitor since he was leading a rebellion against the kingdom. So Mia, who is alone and needing something to do, finds herself in a cemetery where she is now speaking to the ghosts who are dead. Who are dead? Of course they're dead. They're ghosts. Anyways, stumbles upon a dead king who has a special request in seeking out his own revenge. Mia, who also has her own revenge set, agrees to this, and she enters the kingdom's most fearful flock of warriors, trains beside them, and executes her plan to unravel and destroy the kingdom from the inside for what they did to her father. Can I just say, I am loving all these family revenge stories that are going on in 2021. I'm just loving what next year holds for me. Of course, the next book on my list also has some sibling ties in the way the story is told, and the next book is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Everyone and their moms has read this book. I know I'm late, but is it a Christine channel if I'm not late to something? In this book, the main character, Leia, her brother is taken and is announced as arrested for treason. So in an attempt to help get her brother back, she joins forces with rebels who have their own agenda to take down the Empire if she promises to become a spy and get them secrets about the Empire in order to destroy them. In return, these rebels agree to help her get her brother back, and this all happens when Leia takes the first step in entering the Empire's military academy, which sets off a chain of reactions in the book. Okay, the next book I'm super excited about because it gave me Kaz Brekker vibes, and y'all know that I love Kaz Brekker. If y'all don't know who that is, he's one of the main characters in this Six of Crows duology. The next book that I have on my list is The City of Brass, and in this book we follow Nari, the known con artist who has mastered the art of sleight of hand and palm readings in order to get by. Although people think that she does magic, she knows that this is just an act and magic doesn't really exist. Until she meets a messenger who tells her about the City of Brass. She's told about the city with all its powers and magic, and she decides to step into its forces. And when she does, she figures out there's a whole new set of problems that comes with her. I'm really excited to follow Nari into this new world, into the City of Brass, and just experience what that is like as a reader. But also, she's a con artist. Like, I'm so fascinated by the art of sleight of hand and all of that, so if I get any of that information, I already love. But alright, y'all, this last book is one of Booktube, Book Twitter's, Bookstagrams, everyone's cult favorite. Y'all know that I'm probably the last one to read this book. That is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. 2 years before the start of this book, a witch named Lou and her coven sought out refuge in this small little town where they live off basically whatever they can steal. And here they've had to sacrifice using their powers because in this small little town that they're now seeking refuge in, they actually hunt and burn witches wherever they're found. And the reason why I'm really excited about this book, aside from the fact that everybody has read this, is that fate plays a very cruel joke on the characters in this book. Because of course, Lou finds herself falling in love with a man devoted to the church, who also means that he kills and burns witches at the stake, which is just tragic. But of course, as a cherry on top, he also starts falling for her, not knowing that she's a witch. But when they find out, a whole new set of challenges begin. Decisions must be made. There's definitely a book 2 that came out this year, so I'm excited to find out what happens. That was definitely a list. But okay, y'all, that concludes my top 10 book series that I want to start in 2021, part 1. Yes, this is only part 1 because there are so many more series that I want to start in 2021, and because there are 365 days in a year, I am gonna start all of them, and I hope y'all hold me accountable to that. So I'm just trying to manifest the best reading year that I'll ever have in my entire life in 2021, okay? But I hope y'all have enjoyed this list and found some new book series that you all want to start next year as well. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on the video so you can let me know that you're ready for part 2. Leave a comment down below telling me what book series you want to start in 2021, or tell me what book series I should add. As always, I love you all so much. Thank you for watching my video, and until next time, bye y'all.